Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I've got a couple of subscriber encounters to share with you. I also have an update on Luke. Before we get into today's upload, though, a couple links I'd like to share with you. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, my PayPal, and my merch to help this channel to continue to grow and go. All of those links are in the description below. I also have a second channel for creepypasta, fanfiction, and scary voice acting. Stories that, well, they really don't fit on this channel. Now, if that's anything that you're into, follow that link and give those stories a listen. You may just like what you hear. Now, guys, I've definitely taken enough of your time. Let's get on with today's terrifying, yet informative encounters. Shall we? Today's first subscriber submission. Jeff, I appreciate what you do. I had a brief encounter of some sort back in 1981. I was fishing on a private pond, trespassing around 3 in the morning. Never really saw what it was, but I heard it. One thing I do know is that it was bipedal and huge. I could hear it stepping with strides that sounded like 10-foot spans, and I could see the top of a 30 or 40-foot sapling trees bending out of the way as it left the area. And, as I believe most people would have done, I left the area fast. My first response, besides almost pissing myself, was to run. But I didn't want to leave my fishing gear and tackle. It was fairly new. So I grabbed it as fast as I could and unsheathed a cheap fixed-blade knife. I ran as fast as I could, going around the opposite direction of the pond to get back to my car. I never went back and told my cousin about the incident and to stay away. Moral learned from this story is never trespass again. There is more to this world than most have seen or believe. Don't let the haters see or hear you sweat. The supernatural is natural. At some point, someone decided to prefix super in it because we can't understand all of what God has created, done, or allowed to happen. Today's second subscriber submission. Jeff, several months ago I sent you my encounters, but primarily highlighted the Bigfoot ones. And with your video last week about the Central PA encounter, it got me thinking more about my Dogman ones that I didn't cover much on. First off, I'm just unlucky with these damn things. Or, as we build more, they just keep getting pushed out. I don't know, I'm not an expert. But just to give a heads up, there may be some words and jokes for the younger people listening. I have a bit of sense of humor. But let's get started on this shit show of trauma of a story. These 3 encounters all were in Central PA in Clearfield County. And after the third one is when I started doing a bit of research into the happenings of PA and found out about the ones that have happened in towns I have passed through many times, such as Hollidaysburg and Penfield, along with one that I could stand in my front yard and say, just on the other side of that hill. Some of the roads up here got paved in my mom's lifetime, and I'm in my mid-20s, and some are still dirt. We're up here in the mountains. It started about 8 years back. I was camping in my yard with a friend, and this god-awful howl comes about 100 meters from us, from the tree line. Best way to describe it is like a woman screaming bloody murder as a coyote is being thrown into a wood chipper and other howls. So I'm shitting bricks, and my friend may have in his pants trying to figure out what the hell it was, when it decides to go off again. At this point, he grabs the pistol he had, which was a Ruger 22. I grab my 9 because worst case it comes to our tent, and my friend pisses it off with that pea shooter. And I have to shoot my friend in the leg so I can get away. Like with bears, you don't have to be the fastest, just faster than the slowest guy. Should have worked on your cardio. But I didn't have to sacrifice my friend, so I'd live and don't judge me. I just have better survival instincts. But anyway, that's just about it for the time. Now on to the second. This happened a couple years later, same location. I was just sitting there shooting at groundhogs as they pop out of their hole in the side yard, when I looked up into the tree line about 300 yards out and noticed a large black dog that stood about as high as a deer, just standing there looking at me. Now, this wouldn't have been a hard shot for me, as I've done it before hunting and some in competition, but just gave off this vibe. You don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you. So I let it be at that and it walked off. But still at a distance, I could tell it definitely was not a regular dog. And there definitely aren't wolves up here. Now on to my last encounter. I was hanging out by a fire late at night after my parents went in. Well, as many fires go, I had a couple of drinks in me, just enough to feel warm, not enough to see shit that people think that happens when you tell them a story like this. When I noticed things weren't exactly right, as in quiet enough to hear a squirrel fart quiet. I noticed out of the corner of my eye something that wasn't there a few minutes before, standing behind a tree that fell, and we were cutting up for wood. Well, being full of piss and vinegar, along with confidence from my friend Captain Morgan, I decided that the best course of action was to add more wood and grab my shotgun. So I completed those tasks because, hey, let's see what this asshole is instead of doing something rational like going in. That was the thing, and it gave me a decent look. So I sat down and I was looking at it out of the corner of my eye, not letting it know I knew it was there, and let me tell you, I didn't see anything that looked like it could have its way with me and then rip me apart like that till I moved in with my wife and left the toilet seat up. It was just standing there looking at me because I guess it was curious as to who I was. But to give a good description, besides it was tall, hairy, and pretty creepy looking, would be that I'd say about 8 feet tall. Had some fluff around the neck, yellowish amber eye shine. Built, but not like freakishly big, but more of a tone build that fit it, so about 2 and 2.5 feet across. And had a head like a Malamute or a German Shepherd. Didn't get a good look from mid-torso down due to the tree, thankfully, because the tree was like a bit of an obstacle, and I didn't want to cry myself to sleep if it had man parts. That probably lasted a few minutes till I went and put some wood on the fire, and it was out of my sight for a couple of seconds. By that time, I was able to look back in the general direction, and it was gone, which was relaxing but ass-puckering moment, because it was gone, but at the same time, it was quiet about leaving, and I don't know where it went, till I started hearing the bugs again. Hope this helps and gives a bit more detail for you. Now let's get into an update from Luke's wife. Good morning, Mr. Jeff. Let me start off by saying that I was away when this all happened. I was able to piece things together from what my father-in-law told me and also information from the authorities and doctors. My dad was diagnosed with kidney cancer, which he lost the battle to last week. So I went to where he currently is, Whitehall, Pennsylvania, to plan his funeral. I was there for a few days when I received a call from Luke's dad stating Luke is in the hospital and in serious condition. So you can now see where my head's at. I just lost my dad and might lose my husband. I was too distraught to drive, so my sister drove us overnight. When I met Luke's dad, he told me Luke suffered head injuries from a fall and was shot twice by, I guess, an FBI agent by accident trying to fend off a black bear on the property, which he got some injuries from as well. The reason they were on my property is that they received a tip from a reliable source that my husband was involved in illegal arms dealing, and they obtained a so-called warrant, which was a lie because when I asked to see it, they couldn't produce it. I was denied access to my husband, and they have an armed guard watching him. My lawyer is dealing with the issue now, and Luke is medically induced coma until the swelling in his head goes down. I didn't turn the phone in, plus denied them access to our property. I went through his pictures, and one is attached of what he took the day of his accident. Keep you up to date once he wakes up, because I want to know what really happened. So that email was around 11 in the morning, 9 at night. Lawyer got charges dropped since they couldn't produce the witness, and they got the search warrant, and all the guns were legal. Doctors removed Luke from the induced coma since the swelling went down. They said he should wake up in a day or two. Might have temporary memory loss, but should make a full recovery. I said, that's great news. I'll make an announcement tonight. Thanks for the update. Luke is in my prayers as well as your family. Response. Thanks so much, Luke. Talks highly of you and is why I contacted you because I believe he wanted you to know what was going on. My next response. Quick question. Was it the same men that came down to look at the hole in the ground on your property where the black bears go, meaning the den? Sorry, only person that can answer that is Luke. I didn't see the men that time around. So, that's what's going on with Luke. Let's keep him in our prayers. Black bears. Gotta love those black bears, don't we? That live in a den that just happen to travel periodically through his yard and open his door and go up his stairs and attack him while he's in his bed. Black bears. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these encounters as much as I enjoyed sharing them with you. Wow. I don't know what to say. I want to thank everybody for submitting their encounters to me. I truly appreciate it. I'd also like to remind people that if you have an encounter, you can send it to my email, which is nadalny.m.jeff@gmail.com. It's in the description below. Or reach out the same way, and we can do a interview via the phone. Looking forward to hearing from people, and I want to thank everybody for all of the support. The channel is growing great. And we're a pretty good community here, so I want to thank everybody. It's not just my channel, it's your guys' channel too. And I love that you guys take advantage of the comment section because you guys really do have some in-depth conversations with each other, and that's what this is all about. It's not about who knows more and yakety yak. It's about what we can learn from each other, sharing information. So, with that, guys, I want to bid you farewell.